Hello, thanks for joining us on Panorama. INEC declares Bala Muhammad of the People's Democratic Party winner of Bauchi State governorship election. President Muhammadu Buhari receives report on minimum wage from Presidential Technical Advisory Committee. Plus, Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria tasked judicial officers on strict compliance with the Code of Conduct. Details of these and more on this edition of Panorama. I am Jummai Yusuf. Do stay tuned. Now, reports just reaching us says the Adamawa State High Court has vacated order restraining INEC from conducting governorship supplementary election. Ruling on principal suit on alleged exclusion of a political party in governorship ballot paper comes up on Friday, March 29, 2019. Meanwhile, National Commissioner for Information INEC, Festus Okoye, says INEC is to proceed with the governorship supplementary election on a date to be announced. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission has declared Bala Muhammad of the People's Democratic Party as the winner of the governorship election in Bauchi State. These follow the conclusion of collation of results from Tafa Balewa local government area, which was earlier stopped as a result of court order. The final result shows that People's Democratic Party polled 551,113 votes to defeat All Progressive Congress, who polled 625 votes. Determined to have a strong focus on adulterated and patriotic leadership of the 9th Senate, President Muhammadu Buhari has convened a strategic meeting with the returning and newly elected senators, governors, as well as members of the National Working Committee of the APC on the best way forward. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president harped on the need for unity, high sense of responsibility, and selflessness in service towards genuinely taking Nigeria to the next level.
Despite having the majority in the 8th Senate, the governing All Progressives Congress found itself sharing the all-important presiding leadership positions with the opposition People's Democratic Party. APC senators were also said to have been denied the privilege of controlling sensitive committees. As a result, legislations critical to the implementation of the change agenda were believed to have either been denied or frustrated. This interactive meeting between President Muhammadu Buhari, APC leadership, and the senators-elect is aimed at ensuring that the mistakes of the past are not in any way repeated in the 9th Senate.
By this system, which I saw by the Holy Quran to follow, this is my 5th and last time of standing the election. For that reason, I would like to leave something behind. And what I want to leave behind cannot be successfully done without your support. That's why I'm appealing for your support. What happened in the last Senate and so on is regrettable, because I still feel that it shouldn't take 7 months to pass a budget. You have got a very, very serious job ahead of you. So what am I feeling? Is any major decision you are going to take, please reflect more on the country than yourselves as a party. What impact will it have on the country?
APC National Chairman Adam Soshomole expressed the belief that with a majority of 65 senators, the APC has what it takes to produce unadulterated Senate leadership and ensure patriotic legislations that will support President Muhammadu Buhari's radical decisions and reforms for the good of the nation and posterity.
We do not need to do business with opposition in order to claim what is rightly ours. When Nigerians, in their full freedom, have chosen to bless us with such huge majority in the National Assembly, and re-elect Your Excellency with such huge margin, their intention is clear: to have a strong federal government with strong legislative backing in the two arms of the National Assembly to carry out the reforms and the changes that Mr. President is irrevocably committed to that reflect the core values of Progressive Party and the core values of change.
The first and only YPP Senator-elect from Anambra State, Ifeanyi Ubah, attended the meeting, which continued behind closed doors, during which questions, observations, and suggestions were taken on the best way forward.
We assured the president cooperation. We're going to give him the whole cooperation, and we're going to work hand in hand as one family in harmony with the executive arm of government to ensure that we boost the Nigerian economy, tackle security, and agenda on corruption. What belongs to majority goes to majority, and what belongs to minority goes to minority.
What the president has done today, I think, is the right step in the right direction. We are governors. We are also responsible for our senators, and we dialogue with our senators. And all of us were very happy that he led the way forward as Mr. President. And because of that, all of us are now going to work towards achieving the desire of Mr. President for the good of this country.
A similar meeting is expected to be held with the returning and newly elected APC members of the House of Representatives. From the State House, Adamu Sammu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the governing All Progressive Congress is already working with newly elected members of the House of Representatives from the party to ensure that credible members emerge as principal officers in the 9th National Assembly. To this end, the party executives and National Chairman Adams Oshomole had a strategic meeting with the newly elected members in Abuja. Saliu Abdullahi reports.
Over. It is now time to prepare for governance by those elected into various political offices. 42-year-old Shina Pella, representing Iseyin, Itesiwaju, Kajola, and Iwajowa in Oyo State, is among the 164 newly elected members of the House of Representatives on the platform of the APC.
We are proud that
this forum provided an opportunity for Shina and his colleagues to interact with his party's National Working Committee, share ideas and make collective decisions ahead of the inauguration of the 9th Assembly.
Very important for us to realize that the party is an important factor because that is the conveyor of our political aspiration. And we have to be proactive.
Be able to consolidate the efforts of the executive and be able to work together for the betterment of Nigeria.
APC National Chairman Adams Oshomole urged the new members to use their number when inaugurated to work towards fulfilling their mandates by providing quality legislation in line with the party's ideology and the agenda of the Buhari administration.
A PDP person will not be speaker. A PDP person will not be deputy speaker. A PDP person will not take any of the committees that are meant for the ruling party. We want to have a new approach in which the executive, leaders of the National Assembly, and leaders of the party sitting together to discuss.
The meeting thereafter went to a closed-door session after being joined by returning members of the House of Representatives. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Still on the 2019 elections, National Human Rights Commission has unveiled the assessment report of Nigeria's 2019 general elections. The report is in collaboration with the National Human Rights Commission and Human Rights Advancement, Development and Advocacy Center on how to organize elections devoid of violence. Omenka Amarachukwu reports.
The 2019 general elections may have come and gone, but not without memories of destruction of lives and properties and reported cases of ballot box snatching, among others. To address the identified pitfalls, the Commission say the assessment report is structured into 13 chapters, which explores election management in Nigeria and provides insight into legal framework with recommendations that will improve internal democracy within the political parties and creation of specialized election offences commission that would alleviate risk of violence in elections.
Electoral justice is not limited to fairness and freeness of elections. It goes beyond that and includes accountability, compensation and remedy for all victims and survivors of crimes committed during the electoral process. It also includes bringing to justice those who commit crimes during elections or who engaged in electoral infractions.
Nobody should be a member of a political party and be losing their life because of electoral process. This must stop.
The report also captures the challenges associated with social media, fake news, and hate speech. In Abuja, Umenka Marchuku, NTA News.
Chairing news for Nigerian workers, the Presidential Technical Advisory Committee on the implementation of the new national minimum wage has submitted its report to the federal government. The report contains far-reaching recommendations on how best to fund in a sustainable manner the additional cost of implementing the salary increase for workers in the country. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports that the chairman of the committee and renowned economist Bismarck Rewani presented the report to President Muhammadu Buhari.
The technical committee, inaugurated on the 9th of January this year, was also mandated to advise the federal government on new revenue sources as well as areas of existing expenditure from where some savings could be made in order to fund the wage increase. This is to ensure that Nigeria's difficult fiscal condition is neither worsened by the consequential increase in workers' salaries and allowances nor adversely impact on the nation's development goals as set out in the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan.
I am very pleased that the committee took on this important national assignment with all seriousness. Let me thank the chairman, Mr. Bismarck Rewani, and all the committee members most sincerely for your patriotism, your hard work, commitment, and sacrifices. I understand that you have worked tirelessly to ensure that you deliver the report before we receive the minimum wage bill from the National Assembly. We will review this report expeditiously. In the process, we may need to engage with some members of your committee. I therefore implore you to make your services available whenever we may call on you.
The President expressed appreciation to, amongst others, the Budget Office of the Federation, the National Incomes, Salaries and Wages Commission, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Central Bank of Nigeria, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, and the National Bureau of Statistics for providing strong support to the committee in the course of the assignment. Budget and National Planning Minister Udoma coordinated the work of the committee, which was also required to propose a work plan and modalities for the implementation of the salary increase.
I'm sure that there will be recommendations there that will be helpful to us in terms of making sure there's a seamless implementation of the new minimum wage whenever it is passed into law.
President Muhammadu Buhari later engaged the 21-man committee behind closed doors, during which its chairman, Bismarck Rewani, a renowned economist and businessman, made a PowerPoint presentation on members' observations and recommendations, but details were not made public. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Now to judicial matters. Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, has called for strict compliance with the Code of Conduct for employees in the judiciary as a way of stemming corruption in the third arm of government. He made the call at the opening of a national workshop for heads of lower courts in Nigeria. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okeyu reports.
Directors and inspectors are the administrative heads of area, sharia, and customary courts. For them to be so appointed, they themselves must have been judges in any of these courts. So, when the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria talks about strict adherence to Code of Conduct for judiciary staff, it is something they themselves are supposed to have passed through and understand its impact on justice delivery. It is in this light that Justice Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad reminded them of their proximity to the grassroots of the society in terms of improving the quality of justice delivery.
It's a different country from what it used to be. Let us effect the changes that give us all the development in this country. Anything that is not worthwhile, please forget about it.
Organizers of the workshop are of the hope that it would guide against miscarriage of justice at the lower court level.
Apart from the renewed emphasis on transparency and integrity, all employees, of course, including directors and inspectors of the area, through Sharia, through customary courts, are obliged to adhere to the highest standards of integrity and moral rectitude.
This is the first time the National Judicial Institute is holding a separate workshop for this category of judicial workers. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
Thank you, Femi Okewo. We'll now take our first break. Do stay.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
You are watching Panorama on NTA. Now, developing a credible naval power capable of tackling complex national and transnational security challenges is a vision which must be achieved. In line with this, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Aboyomi Olonishakin, has inaugurated the Naval Warfare Course 3 of the Naval War College in Calabar, Cross River State. Umo Basi Edet has the report.
Has continued to receive many accolades for its ability to tackle maritime crimes, thereby saving the nation billions of naira, which hitherto would have been lost to economic crimes like smuggling and bunkering. Determined to achieve more, naval officers through the Naval War College are trained and retrained to equip them with modern ways of tackling complex national security issues, as well as skills to bridge gaps at the operational level of warfare.
It has become necessary that the Nigerian Navy operational high-level commanders are trained to understand the complexity of the contemporary security environment and think outside the box.
For you to be able to deploy a credible force, you must have a well-trained, well-organized, and motivated workforce that will be able to prosecute the mandate.
With a reviewed curriculum expanded from 6 to 8 months, Governor Ben Ayade advocates for an increased funding for the Naval War College for optimal performance.
I'm calling on President Buhari to ensure that the Naval War College is properly funded to ensure that 80% of his training is practical. That's the only way you can guarantee that you're truly adding value?
The next 8 months period of training will be very demanding, as the college will leave no stone unturned with the view to achieving the course objectives.
In the spirit of goodwill, a retired Air Vice Marshal Mohammed Umaru presented books to the college library. In Calabar, Umar Basadate, NTA News.
Minister of State Aviation Hadi Serika says in the 2019 budget, the sector would pay special attention to safety and security infrastructure in Nigerian airports. The minister made this suggestion while defending the budgetary allocation before the Senate Committee on Aviation. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Unko reports.
Five days after the Senate adjourned plenary for 2019 budget scrutiny, its Committee on Aviation has drilled the Ministry of Aviation and its agencies. Minister of State for Aviation Hadi Serika presented the performance of the 2018 budget and explained that 47.5 billion naira proposed in the 2019 budget for capital expenditure will focus on infrastructural renewal.
Adequate provision has also been made to complete the new terminal building at Akanu EBM International Airport, Enugu, in 2019. And it is the first time in this country ever that airports are certified according to regulations.
Members of the Senate committee raised concerns on the high cost of charges by airline operators and also demanded to know the state of the proposed Nigeria's national carrier.
In the proposal sent in, there's provision for the national carrier. His Excellency the Vice President has set up a committee. 70% of the committee is involving players in the industry.
The minister pointed out challenges with the new terminals being built with the $500 billion from China Exim Bank, which now needs additional $461.7 million.
You know very well that whether money is borrowed or raised internally, for it to be spent, it has to get the approval of the National Assembly.
Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Nigerian Meteorological Agency, and College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, were among the agencies that defended their 2019 budget. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Unko, NTA News.
Okay. Still on the National Assembly, the House of Representatives Committee on Works has commended the federal government on road infrastructure development across the country and urged that implementation of key projects be fast-tracked to further address the deficit in the sector. This was when the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, appeared before the committee to defend the ministry's budget performance for 2018 and proposal for 2019. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Confidence in President Muhammadu Buhari's willingness to address infrastructure deficit in the country, Babatunde Raji Fashola added that a 10 trillion naira infrastructure bond is required for maximum impact. The minister said in the interim, the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing is making interventions in public institutions using the National Infrastructure Maintenance Framework, which was approved by the Federal Executive Council.
Some of the things we have recommended, which the President has also approved, is the tax credit initiative for private sector companies to advance their taxes to government for infrastructure.
Committee members, while agreeing that alternative funding is required for road construction and maintenance, also raised questions in relation to ongoing key road projects across the country.
There is also the issue of right-of-way, which is a huge challenge. Most of the time, people abuse them and all that, and there is no data on them.
The whole of South-South does not have quarry. The only quarry we have in South-South and in Cross River State. And the amount of heavy vehicles that apply those roads needs to be something that has to be considered when you are building the Kalavai Highway.
Kaduna, Pambegwa, Samunaka, Jos. It's like the artery in the heart of the nation.
Suggestions were also offered on how maintenance can be captured in budgets to avoid failure of such projects, as was experienced in the past. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Thank you, Lami. Minister of Youth and Sports, Barrister Solomon Dalong, lauds Nigeria's under-29 cricket team, the Junior Yellow Greens, for qualifying for the World Cup, as Nigeria sets to host Confederation of Africa Volleyball Zone 3 Volleyball Clubs Championship in Lagos. Olumude Eguntala has details on Sport Update.